alive, turn it up and get loud. Red and white, feeling right, there's no stopping us now. You know what to do, just get lost in the groove. It's almost time, let's make a move. Santa's on his way, so let's dance the night away. It's a holiday party. Feel the love, feel the love. It's a holiday party. Get together. It's a holiday party. It's a holiday party. My sugar plum, we ain't done, we got more on the list. Just let it snow under mistletoe, leaning close for a kiss. I got something for you that's gonna make you move. Get lost with me in the groove. Santa's on his way, Santa's on his way, so let's dance the night away. It's a holiday party. Feel the love, feel the love. It's a holiday party. Get together. It's a holiday party. It's a holiday party. Feel alright. It's a good night on this Christmas.
What's up, everyone? How is everyone's Saturday? Welcome to the final live stream of the year for Guy in a Cube. We made it. Oh, Patrick's sad. I'm sorry. So welcome, everyone. We have two very special guests here today. We have Kim Manis, who is a VP for Product on Microsoft Fabric. And then we have Bogdan Crivat, who is the Corporate Vice President for Data Analytics. Thank you both for being here and taking your Saturday to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And sometimes I say Bogdan's not about the yo. Bogdan's like I'm.
Bogdan wasn't. He's just like it.
No.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Just messing.
Yep. So also, I totally failed. I meant to get something up. So first off, if you are new to the live stream or new to Guy in a Cube in general, put hashtag new in the chat. We always love seeing the new faces and want to say hi. Appreciate you being here on your Saturday. I meant to get something set up for this and I totally forgot. So we are gonna.
Of course you did.
I'm gonna go over to my desktop real quick before we get into all the rules. This is part of housekeeping. I just want to promote this a little bit. So let's go over to my machine real quick. So just an FYI, the Fabric Conference, our Fabric Community Conference is coming up in March. You can go register right now and see speakers. I know some of these people on the screen. So definitely go check it out. Register. It's going to be in Las Vegas in March. We would love to see you there. Putting the link in the chat. Also, if you want to get $100 off registration, you can use code CUBE100 to get $100 off as part of the conference. And so Kim and Bogdan, I'm expecting both of you to be there. And so I think Patrick and I will be there too. So we would just love to see you. Come up and say hi.
You better be there. What are you talking about? Thanks.
I don't know about it, Adam. I don't have a session.
People sometimes ask like, are you going to be at the Fabric Conference? I'm like, I hope so. They put my picture on the main page. So we'll see.
Put your picture on the website.
We'll see. The jury's still out on that one. Bogdan, no, Cube 500 doesn't get you more. Sorry. I'm sure if you want to help out with that, maybe that could get done. But Kevin, thank you for the donation. So any super chats, you'll see the super chat button is not there. You'll see a donate button instead. So if you do want to jump the queue on your question, do the donate button. All of those donates will go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which I did look. I tried to pick something that's global, and St. Jude's helps children around the world. So that's great. So please think about that in a time of giving at the end of the year. So everything this stream will go towards that. Also, we have a tradition here in Guy in a Cube, the It Depends jar. And so if any question we answer with It Depends, $1 goes in the It Depends jar that runs through the whole year. And at the end of this stream, we will donate that to charity as well. So looking forward to that. Shout out also to members of Guy in a Cube. You help us do what we do here on the channel. So thank you so much for being here and being part of that. If you see folks with a green name or a Guy in a Cube icon next to them, they are members of the channel, and you just help support us, and we appreciate that. If you want to learn more, go check out, I'll put it back up. Go check out the link on the screen, or hit the join button down below for more information. No commitment required. Just thank you for checking it out. Let's see who is. I know the chat was going kind of crazy, and I went through a bunch of stuff. Let's see who is new. Scrolling up. Did you see any, Patrick?
Yeah, Barat won.
Where? Oh, there it is. It was John or Yan is new. Barat is new. Michael's new. Chewy's vintage. Appreciate you being here, Chewy.
I would tell you, Adam's name pronouncing skills. The way he can just decipher these names is impressive. It's impressive to me.
All right.
It's impressive. Yeah. Let's roll on.
All right. So, and we see a bunch of donations as well. So Matthew, Chris, James, Scott, Lisa, Anonymous, Chatmaster C. Thank you, everyone. Very much appreciated. What? All right, we have Chatmaster C just dropped.
She just dropped the dub.
Yep, she dropped a Benjamin. So it's both Pat and Rick. Yes.
Yeah, they are impressive.
All right. So we have rules here on the channel. So please, the queue is open. Chatmaster C is standing by to get your question in the queue. Again, Kim and Bogdan are here, part of the leadership team. So keep that in mind as you ask questions. Think it's your opportunity to learn more about Fabric and what's going on. So please put Q: in the front of the question. One time is all you need, and it will be queued. We try to get through all the questions. We never do. So please do not spam the chat with the question. One time's all you need. If you do spam the chat, we have a 3 strikes rule here on GuineCube. Chatmaster C, or one of our lovely moderators, except for Patrick, will put you in a timeout. So just please don't spam it. One time's all you need. Yeah, we're definitely not going through all the questions today. Yes, and it is an open chat, so members feel free. Please get them in. And RK Tech, thank you for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. All right. Let's roll. Wow, there is a lot of questions.
Let's roll.
All right, let's roll. First question up. So first off, Kim and Bogdan, you ready to head over to the queue?
I'm nervous. Some of these questions are, it feels like Jeopardy.
We got it. You'll be fine. It'll be great. All right, Thomas. Can I switch the data warehouse part of Fabric to an ordinary Azure SQL Server SMP to reduce cost?
I'll take this. So you don't get the benefits of data warehouse because it's not going to read. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not going to be able to read the Lakehouse files or anything in Delta. Then you're not saving costs because you cannot buy Azure SQL Server as part of Fabric right now. So you have to pay on the side. So not really. No, it doesn't buy you that much. You have data marts if you really, really want to use SQL that are still in preview in Fabric.
Yep. All right. Awesome. Moving on. I should have removed the question. It covers up Bogdan's face. So sorry about that. I will be mindful of it. Okay. Sahil. So this was a Kim question we decided early on. Is there any impact if we set is available in MDX property to no attribute columns if we use only Power BI for reporting?
I was like, what's the MDX? Is available MDX property? I don't know.
I remember MDX.
I do run the Power BI product team, by the way. I still don't know what it is MDX.
All right. I guess Patrick, answer it.
No, there is effects, and there's no. Don't say it depends. Don't you dare say it. If you're using Power BI, there's other things that you need to consider with it, like sorting and filtering. It could affect it. So just be very careful. Don't be just liberal and go, knock them all off. Knock off the ones that are in relationships. You probably don't need those, or key columns, and then work your way back from there. Don't just go turning it all off.
Yeah. So, good job, Patrick.
Yeah.
All right.
Super happy. They're super happy to meet Kim. There you go, Kim.
Yeah.
People are meeting you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Asan. With Fabric Private Link and VNet support coming in near future, do we expect additional SKUs with massive charges so we can plan budget accordingly?
No, so I mean, everything's included in the Fabric SKUs. That's the cool part, right? We're really intentional about trying to make this as simple as possible, right? We're not going to have some different SKU for people who need private links or VNets, right? It's all included in the Fabric SKU. And, depending on what you use up those capacities. You might need a bigger SKU if you're using more of it, but no way. So the Fabric SKUs you have today, or even the Power BI Premium SKUs you have today, will work just fine. Go ahead, Patrick. What I forget?
No. I just want to point out that Kim called it the fabric.
The fabric.
I just
Okay.
want to
The
point that
fabric.
out. She called it the,
The
fabric.
fabric.
She called it the fabric.
We had a whole discussion on the usage of
Kim called it the fabric. I'm paying attention, Kim. I'm paying attention. The fabric. Yeah.
The fabric.
Attention.
F-SKUs technically are what they're called when you buy them. F-SKUs or
F-SKUs.
P-SKUs for Power BI.
I try not to actually say FSKU.
Both will work.
So, Bogdan, anything to add?
No, I just what Kim said. If you are getting VNet, you may connect to more data. You may have petabytes of data on premises as well. With this, we may have to increase a bit the number of cores that you can get in a SKU. We go up to 1024. I don't know what we go today, and we can keep growing.
2048 is the biggest one.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we can keep doubling. That's what I'm saying, depending on your data. But the functionality is not tied to SKU.
All right. Cool.
So, Benny,
Yeah.
Benny says, "Hey, Benny, what's up? Benny needs to step up his shoe game to hang out with me. It's not just me anymore, Benny. It's Adam.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
actually Kim
I quit.
also.
Oh, we got Kim to buy some stuff.
So much
And
money
Jason.
on shoes already, hanging out with these guys. So I should have them here. I'm not wearing them. I bought the Power BI Jordans, and then I bought the fabric colored Converses.
The
I probably
fabric.
need
It's
some
not just
Chanel
me.
shoes too. So get ready for the fabric conference because every day a new shoe. So Bogdan, we got to get
See?
you in on
It's
this.
not just me, Benny. You got a lot of competition, man.
It's
You got a lot of
expensive
competition.
hanging out with
So-
these guys.
So Patrick found a shoe when I visited him recently, and he got a new shoe, and I'm like, what the heck? You didn't even talk to me. So I couldn't have it at the
No.
at Pass Summit, but then it came while I was at Pass Summit, and then Crystal said, all right, enough of that, all that. Like, that's too much. It's too much.
Matthew, I'm not a bad influencer. I'm a trendsetter, man. I set trends. That's what I do.
Tell my husband that about our shoe deal.
Let's roll. Let's roll.
All right. Gopa, will there be full parity for Fabric Warehouse with Azure SQL Server, etc., in terms of T-SQL commands in create alter table, for example, new ID, default values, identity, merge and truncate? That sounds like a Bogdan question.
Full parity
Yeah,
is,
that's all Bogdan.
full parity is not a goal. Many of the things that are mentioned here will come. Identity, I think, is going to come by May. Merge and truncate are coming as well. So full parity. Azure SQL is a very, very complex language there. So we are trying to make sure that we bring features one by one as you guys are pushing us for it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting, Bogdan.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And
can't
I will
wait.
also say, if there's something that you are really passionate about that you want to see in Microsoft Fabric, go to the Ideas
Ideas.
site. Go to
Yes.
Ideas, vote it up. Bogdan and Kim look at that. So yes, get your voice heard. Get your voice heard. All right. Let's see here. So Matthew was being a little humorous in the morning, just asking Kim if it felt weird that she was the only person with hair.
That's why I wore the hat, so I wouldn't stand out. I didn't want to make people feel bad.
Okay, Matthew. Okay, Matthew.
Yeah. So Antonio asked, can you provide a link to where to properly understand Fabric components, especially OneLake? I know both Matthew and Bogdan dropped some links in the chat when that question was first answered. So definitely go check out the documentation. It's got you covered. A whole section about OneLake and whatnot. So
We also have this thing called the Cloud Skills Challenge
Yes.
that's running right now. And I'm going to find the link and paste it in here. I'm sure there's an AKAMS link, but the long link is right here. The Cloud Skills Challenge is just full-on tutorial, everything Fabric that gets you ready for our certification that's coming out in the new year. So we're going to have our very first Fabric certification. If you want to get ready for that, the Cloud Skills Challenge is a great way to do it.
Love it. And then Benny dropping the link to the Learn Paths as well. So that's all part of the Cloud Skill Challenge pieces. So definitely go participate in that. So it's good stuff. And people put a lot of work into that too. There's a lot of good info in there.
Yeah.
All right. So S Nagaraja.
Get this. Look at these name skills. Look at these name skills.
I don't even know if I got it right.
Look at these names.
I just try. Is it possible to download a Power BI file when it is on incremental refresh in the Power BI service?
Nope.
Not yet.
Negative. Not yet.
Maybe one day, and we got some things in the works on some better experiences here, but nothing I can share just yet.
But and I would say in general, I know there's been, the team is interested in looking at additional way, because there's different areas where you can block the download of a Power BI desktop file. And one of the things that I thought was a good add that helps in that scenario is you can actually download it. It'll do a live connection to the model, so that does help.
Exactly.
But the team's also looking at other ways that, can we unblock that on other things? And so always trying to improve. Again, get your feedback in if that's something that you really feel you need.
So I got a comment. I can't let this go.
Okay.
But why? I'm just curious because
Yes,
if I'm at that,
the
if I'm at
file
that
will
level,
get really big, right? Think
yeah,
about it. You set
I'm
up
at that-
incremental
I'm at
refresh.
that level.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Keep going, Kim. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
If
going.
you set up incremental refresh and things running for a year, it's a big file. If you try to open that in Power BI desktop, it will likely crash.
That.
So
What she said.
The answer there is not make you download the PBIX file. The answer is let you edit the model such that you can make a change, right? The first step is really full parity on web authoring, which is in the works and coming. A lot of it is in public preview now. There's more to come here, but really the answer is not to download the PBIX because that would be a pretty crappy experience, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
Especially if your internet drops out during the download. That's a bad day.
This is good. This is a good point, though. It's a valid point, though. I mean, if you're working with incremental refresh, you're working with a lot of data. So why do you need to download? So you just need the schema itself. That's what you need, right? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I couldn't resist.
All right. No, I appreciate it. It's good context. Denny.
Yeah.
As a small company who just got out of startup stage just past 5 years, how can we incorporate Fabric to our data understanding? Small 40 employee challenge. Not everyone gets it, but wants it.
Sounds like a
Fabric is
Bogdan
great for you
question.
guys.
Well, also Kim and Bogdan, what are your thoughts on small companies wanting to get into Fabric?
Get an F2.
Yeah, an F2 is, I don't know, what is it? If you ran it totally, it's like 150 a month
something
or
like
something.
that.
With reserved instance, about 150. Yeah. And go to an F4.
So,
It's cool. It's worth it. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
and you can use it for everything. Honestly, I think it's a pretty low risk thing to go try it.
Oh, wait.
I didn't say it. Did I?
Why?
Did you?
What's the
I don't think
context,
it
Patrick?
depends. Because what are they trying to do, right? What are they really
what are your
trying to
goals?
do with Fabric? And so what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And so once I know that, then I can
depends.
determine, do you need an F2? Do you need an F64? Maybe you don't even need Fabric. Of course, we want everybody to use Fabric. That's right. That's what we want.
Because, maybe you're coming in and you're like, I just want to do Power BI reports. I'm like, you could just get away with Power BI Pro.
Power BI Desktop does the job. So.
No, not just Power BI Desktop. No, not just Power BI. They got to buy something. They got to buy something. They got to spend some money. I'm watching the stock
Power BI
price. I'm
Desktop
watching the stock
free.
price every day. I'm
These
watching
Power
the
BI
stock price,
people.
Kim. They got to buy something.
Oh, Bogdan doesn't feel the love on that one.
That's okay. You're going to love notebooks eventually. But seriously, you can start with an F2, see if you need more, see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Darren, I know SQL and Power Query. That's half the battle. Is there any reason I should land data from a Snowflake data warehouse into a Lakehouse? The FOMO is real. Fear of missing out for those.
Yeah, there are a couple of reasons. The first reason, look, you may have more than Snowflake in your system. You may have Snowflake here and Cosmos DB here, right? If you have this, I didn't say it depends.
No. That's said.
If you want to join your Snowflake data, with some other data, mirroring in the lake is really home for you. In addition, when you are running a report, you are changing your data in a table once, and you may have 1,000 people watching that change through a report. You may choose to pay the Snowflake compute for those 1,000 people, or you may choose to mirror once and then have direct lake. And those 1,000 people are going to get the results a bit faster. So there are quite a few reasons.
Do you think you may choose is the same as it depends?
I'm trying to avoid it depends.
He's trying to avoid it.
You may.
But he's right, though. I mean, he's right.
I have a list of
He's
learnings
right,
now.
right? It's the last one. I'm trying to get as many dollars in the jar as I can. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
Gotta get
Trying to give as much
Yeah.
to St. Jude as we can. So.
All right.
But being part
let's
of
go.
the wider ecosystem, connecting with all the other components in Fabric, that's probably the biggest advantage to mirror your data from Snowflake into Fabric.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Sandeep coming in with a SKU question, or actually CoPilot. Is the P1/F64 plus requirement for CoPilot temporary, or will other SKUs get it? Or he said skis, so maybe he's on vacation. I don't know. But SKUs, will other SKUs get it in the future?
It's a good question. Can I say anything is permanent in software? No. So,
It depends.
It depends. This is it depends. But listen, like we need to make sure it's a good experience for all your users. So we don't want you running an F2 and just burning up the capacity by some user asking a bunch of questions and then you can't use it for anything else.
Like Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that OpenAI takes some cores. So we are starting with F64. The other reason we started with F64 especially is because that is the SKU where free sharing is involved. So if you buy a SKU smaller than that, you can't do sharing with free users in Power BI. You need a pro license for that until you get to the 64 SKU. So we've kind of attached it to that for the reason that, hey, Power BI users are going to be using a lot of CoPilot, so let's make sure it's accessible for them.
And so, just for folks that may not know, you kept saying F64, P1 and above work with this as well.
Equals,
Yep.
so
Yep.
P1
Same thing.
equals F64, same thing, and so that's kind of why we stuck with that
Excellent.
as the
I'm
order.
just clarifying for the audience, making sure they understand. So, let's see here. Let's go with Daryl. This is an in-depth question. We want to move from Azure Databricks to Fabric architecture. What does that look like?
Good one.
It's all Bogdan.
It depends. I'm going to lead that with it depends.
It looks great. So look, try it out. How it looks like. Let's assume for a second you made up your mind, you did your validation and everything is ready. Let's look at the technical side only. You have Databricks. Databricks is writing to ADLS Gen 2. The first thing that I would do, I would create a shortcut from ADLS Gen 2, to ADLS Gen 2 from a Lakehouse in Fabric. Now, once you do that, you see delta tables in the Lakehouse, and you can start doing direct lake. You can try the SQL endpoint. You can do whatever. This Party. You are moving your consumption at this point onto Fabric, and your users are benefiting from everything. Then later, once you have your users, once you have your consumption straightened out in Fabric, and people start playing with these multiple engines and get everything, it's a background task to figure out how you are moving your notebooks or your Spark jobs slowly into Fabric. And that you are going to do slowly, and you evaluate performance, cost, and everything else that you need to do. And this gives you the benefit of consumption practically immediately, because this shortcut is really easy. It takes less time to create what I'm telling you about than to describe it in words. And then when you start looking at the jobs, it's going to give you the comfort of trying them one by one and getting the best solution in terms of cost and performance.
Wow. I don't know
Damn.
if that's it depends. That's pretty direct,
No,
if you ask me.
So-
That's a really
Well, so where I'm coming at from it depends is like, look, you can do the whole thing at once and just migrate over, right? Or you could take it in stages and like slowly build that off as the business needs.
Okay.
So it depends on how you want to do it. You want to just rip the Band-Aid and get it over with, which is probably not the case
Let's
in a
do it.
production environment. So, or
Run
if
it
you're
parallel.
Patrick,
Run it parallel.
Yeah,
Keep
there you
production
go.
running. Run it
Yeah.
parallel. Run it
Yeah, and
parallel.
that's one of the big design principles of Fabric is like it's not an all or nothing massive choice you have to make, right? Do what works, do what you need to solve a problem, go then solve the next problem, right?
When that
So-
goes to, so I was in a conversation earlier this week where they were like, oh, so it's like this other vendor. And I'm like, like it's similar in that case, except for one big differentiator in the fact that Fabric is open. And so when I say open, it's this idea that the different or APIs and whatnot that enable you to leverage Fabric how you want to. And you can do it in those cases to move things slowly so that you don't impact production aggressively. So, yeah.
So fancy, Adam.
I
So
know.
fancy. So fancy.
That's how we roll. All right. There's a lot of Lakehouse and warehouse questions. I'm just gonna say.
Hard to follow.
We got the
Yeah.
right people here.
So, Asan, any plans to have multi-table transactions enabled on Lakehouse, not warehouse?
It depends.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. It depends and it doesn't depend on us. So the problem with writing to a Lakehouse is it's managed only by the Delta protocol, right? You can have multiple writers in a Lakehouse. In the warehouse, only SQL is writing. Right. In a Lakehouse, you can have pipelines writing, you can have 5 Spark jobs that are running in parallel writing on the same part. And the Delta protocol itself only supports looking at one table level. So this is why we do not have multiple table transactions in the Lakehouse. Now, if the Delta protocol evolves to support multi-table transactions, or if we switch to using Iceberg or some other systems that do support multi-table transactions, then there's nothing inherently broken with the Lakehouse. We can do multi-table. It's just that the Delta itself right now is limited to single-table transactions. So it depends on the evolution of the Delta protocol.
yeah.
Boom.
Excellent.
He said it twice.
He said it. He said it.
But it's for a good cause, right?
The chat loved that you said it too. So they were waiting for you. They were cheering you on before to say it, and you didn't. But now you did. So we're good. All right. Let's get rid of that one. Let's go to Erica's. We have Data Warehouse, Synapse Workspaces, Power BI Premium Workspaces, Azure Data Factory, blobs, projects, all the things that connect all these entities and surface data in a Power BI report. Where and how do we start moving to Fabric? It depends.
Show me the list of workspaces again.
Yeah.
I'll probably look at the Power BI Premium Workspaces. Actually, that's where you start. They are Fabric already.
Yeah.
Then you
already
go
Fabric.
to the Synapse workspaces. Everything that's in the lake can be easily ported. If you have a data warehouse Gen 2, you will need to do some gymnastics to make that data to be open format. But I would really start with the Power BI Premium. That's in Fabric.
And I'll, the other thing is pick the scenarios that matter to you, right? Like, is there a slow report that's just like crawling because you're connecting to ADLS blob storage and it's like you're importing data and you wish it was faster, refreshing faster, all that. So, pick the scenarios where your end users need a better experience and start there. If it's working, cool. You don't have to rush, right?
There you go. I dropped a link in the chat. I know we've got some various migration docs that have already been published. I dropped one for Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pools to Fabric migration doc as well. So go check those out, as well as we get, as more information is learned, more guidance documentation will also come out to help in that space. So, yes. All right. Prachi. Direct connection from Fabric to the secure FTP server. How do I manage IP whitelisting on the secure FTP server?
Crickets.
I have
That's
an
not our area. That's a question for which young
I can. So the answer here is if you go, there is a doc. I'll have to find it, or if someone in the chat can help me out with. There's a doc or an area where you can go get the Azure IP whitelist. And in there, that's the IPs for all the data centers within a given region. There are service tags in there today for Power BI and Power Query Online. However, I don't know if there are differences, subtleties with like data warehouse. I want to say they were going to update the service tags to accommodate all of Fabric because there's different endpoints used on the data warehouse and Lakehouse. I don't know if the Power BI whitelist today, the service tag for that will cover all of Fabric, but that's where I would go look in terms of automating and everything else. So there you go. Benny, thank you. Fabric service tags. Bam.
You support service tags today.
There you go. And Alex dropping the IP ranges. Good. So there you go.
Alex is here.
Yeah.
Alex was here.
Alex is here.
Ooh, Alex.
So that's why I didn't say, hey, Alex, because I hadn't seen Alex in the chat yet. So.
Yeah.
All right. So Benny and Alex coming through. Thank you. That's what I love about the chat and the community. We got people helping out. Going to crowdsource it. All right, Daniel. Here we go. How does Fabric differ from Snowflake?
It's
Where
like
do I
saying, how does, Microsoft Office differ from,
Google
I don't
search.
know,
Google
What?
Docs.
Google Word. I don't know what Google.
Google. Yeah.
Fabric is
Remember.
all-encompassing. It has a lot of stuff in it, right? And Snowflake is a data warehouse offering. We have that, plus. So I don't know, Bogdan, maybe you...
It's what you say plus one more thing. Fabric is designed to support other engines plugging in. Fabric is designed to work with Databricks. Fabric is designed to work with your code running on a laptop that can read ADLL Gen 2. Fabric is a platform. Inside that platform, sure, we have a warehouse as well. We have a Spark offering as well. We have lots of other things. Snowflake it's a splendid product. I love it, by the way, but it's built on top of a warehouse. Really. So
and
Fabric is a
proprietary formats make it challenging, right?
Proprietary
because Fabric
format,
is built on open formats such that when you put data into the data warehouse in Fabric, you can take it out, right? It's all open formats. Any engine can take it. Any tool that knows how to read Parquet files can go take it out. And in Snowflake, one of the big challenges, you put it in, and then it's stored in such a way that it's quite difficult to take it out.
Well, they're going towards Iceberg in the future. But Fabric has two more things that are probably very interesting if you go beyond the nitty-gritty of how we ship data.
Only two?
It's designed to work for business users all the way to Excel integration. That's part of the Microsoft vision. We are covering all the users in an organization, not only the techies. The second thing is you'll see as you play a bit with Fabric. Fabric is sprinkled with AI everywhere and is designed to give you copilots, everything else, and to build your own AI on top of Fabric. These are some fundamental directional differences between Fabric as a platform and other one engine, very good products.
Yep.
So
my takeaway is that Fabric is splendid, and I'm going to start using that. It's a splendid product.
Yeah.
Snowflake is a splendid product. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what I was like. What do you? No,
but that is a product.
No, Snowflake is splendid. Fabric is fabulous. So you got to go with the first letter.
It's fabtastic. Fabric is fabtastic.
Back to the conference we've been dubbing the FabCon conference. FabCon.
Fabtastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
So
fantastic.
the F in Fabric is for fabulous. So yes. Another big thing like Snowflake doesn't have, that goes to Bogdan's point of the business end to end, is it has reports. And it also has other things like real-time capabilities and alerting and all these things.
Activator.
Right? So there's so many things.
Activator.
The Activator and the Wrangler.
Yeah.
Fabtacular.
A new word. I'm going to use that one. Fabtacular.
Fabtacular. Ooh, I like that. So Chatmaster C said it's time for member-only questions. No, it's not. Chatmaster C actually had to go take my younger daughter to a rodeo, and so Chatmaster J is stepping in, my oldest daughter. It's Texas. It's the horse. Yes, barrel racing. Yes. All right, Tom. I haven't heard anything about Power BI projects recently. Any update? Will it be out of preview soon? Ooh.
So we did ship at Microsoft Build the ability to integrate with Git as part of Power BI Desktop and PBIX files, and that was a lot of what we did with this PBIP file, right? So you could split up the PBIX file, which is this all-encompassing thing, into its individual components. So this will come out of preview soon. I don't have exact dates for you, but one of the things we're doing is trying to evolve the file format so more and more of it is completely open to you changing, right? And that's one of the big challenges we've had. In the early days of Power BI Desktop, that PBIX file was not completely human readable, was not completely editable without Power BI Desktop blowing up. So these are things we're improving over time, for sure.
Yeah. And Chris Jones, a comment, yeah, whatever happened to that whole Timzel to the other format thing, which is Timdul? It's being worked on.
Yes.
It's being worked on. Rui Romano is talking about that and working hard on it. And
Yep.
the P in Fabric is for patience. So
There's no P in Fabric.
there's no P in
No
Fabric.
public P. No public P.
That's why there was a sign when I was growing up for my neighbor that had a swimming pool. He had a sign. He's like, "Welcome to our ool." Notice there's no P in it. We'd like to keep it that way. All right, moving on. Sean, when will we get full browser-based Power BI desktop experience?
Oh yeah, I love this topic, and we're working on it. We're working on it as fast as we
It's a
can.
journey.
So right now, if you go into your workspaces and turn on the preview feature for model editing, you can already edit models in the web. The next question is being able to start from scratch with full PQ offering from scratch. Sorry, I'm laughing at Benny's phonetic phone. So this is coming for sure, and we're working on it. And personally, I'm super passionate about that because when I joined this team, it's been almost 8 years of being on the Power BI team. I switched from a Mac because of Power BI Desktop. So maybe, just maybe, soon I'll get to go back to a Mac computer when the time comes.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's
journey.
getting there. It's getting there.
It's a much better
They dropped
experience
it.
today than it was.
Oh my gosh.
If you're using a model that's imported direct query, you can actually create tables and calculated columns in the web now. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people ask me
Edit
that question. I'm
RLS
like, you could do
roles in
it.
the web.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go check it out. Go check it out.
Yeah, so there's a lot there and more coming.
Yeah. I may need to update the video. I may need to update my video.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. RK Tech, creating a new shortcut in Lakehouse A from an internal resource, Lakehouse B. Shortcut gets created in Lakehouse A, but we can't see newly created shortcuts via SQL endpoint from Lakehouse A.
Okay, so are you creating the shortcut in the table section?
Right. That's where I was
Is
going to
the
go.
shortcut pointing to a delta table? If all these are yes, then it may be a bug on our side, or it may be a metadata refresh glitch. So SQL endpoint is kind of monitoring what happens in the tables, and whenever it finds a new table, it's going to say, okay, cool, I'm going to register it in the metadata. So if your table is not delta, then it's not going to find it. But if everything aligns, it's delta, it's in the tables, then probably we have a glitch, and you should send us an email. We'll try to fix it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think that was a key point, though, for folks that don't realize. I remember when I first started playing around with it, I learned very quickly you can have a shortcut either in that file section or the table section. So you need to pay attention to that. And only the
So it
table
just
section will
depends.
show up
It
in the.
depends.
It depends on where the
So it
shortcut
depends
was.
on where you create.
Yeah.
So it depends.
It depends. There you go.
Okay.
You're very heavy-handed with that dollar there. It's for a good cause.
Patrick's all about the dollar bills.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. He says shortcuts in the tape. He says shortcuts in the table section.
Then there may
though.
be
He says it's
Yeah.
be an issue.
It may be an issue.
Yeah.
There's another possibility.
So-
it contains a column of a type that we don't support yet. But that's going into the bugs area.
Because somebody had that this week, and they're sending me a sample data so I can take a look. They
Yeah.
can't do it. It's not showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, send us the sample data. We'll take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Scott coming to the question. I know moving on-prem SQL Server data to Fabric will get better in the future, mirroring gateway improvements. Any advice on what we can do now to move large on-prem SQL Server data over?
You can do data flows
Yeah.
Or pipeline?
or pipeline.
Well, no, not for on-prem.
Pipeline.
Not for on-prem, not yet.
But I think with data flows, you can go all the way to
Data
on-prem.
flows
Yeah,
work,
Dataflow
right?
supports gateways. So in the release wave, it's commented that the gateway support for pipelines is on its way. So once that's there, you could also leverage that. Yep. Oh, Alex said incremental refresh, Dataflow Gen 2.
Yes, stay tuned.
You can
Stay
do
tuned
Power
for the
BI
video.
import and
Stay
save
tuned.
it as the Delta table. Today, I think it worked.
Yes. Yeah.
See?
It does.
Nice.
It does work. It
Yes.
does work. It does
So-
work. That's another video.
So there's a new
That's
feature.
Fabric.
Yeah, Fabric's everywhere. So new feature, if you have an imported Power BI data model or semantic model, that can also be a way to get data into OneLake. So
Golly, that's a
know.
good video.
So many
I gotta do
things.
that.
So
I gotta
many
do that
things.
video. Yeah, that's a good one.
all right, let's see here. All right, James has a question here. Is there a timeline for HIPAA compliance for Fabric? Ooh, that's a good
I
question.
don't have the exact timeline yet. Some of this comes down to when we can get official certifications and the powers that be blessing it. But we are working on that. So stay tuned.
So one thing I'll add on that, because this question actually came up during the week for me. One thing it came up. We were in a customer conversation with Mark Ergera, and they asked a similar thing. And I said, look, we're working on getting full HIPAA certification for Fabric.
Yep.
Be aware that Power BI already had HIPAA certification.
Oh, yeah.
And be aware that the team that worked on Fabric, or the mindset on Fabric, is the team or on Power BI is the team working on Power BI. So the intent was to keep those standards, right? So right now we're going through the motions to actually get the badge, but just know that the team is very focused on security and those certifications and regulations. So that's something to think about.
Absolutely.
Another great answer, Adam. Another great answer.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see here. All right. So Twinkle's got a question. How do I enable CoPilot in Power BI Desktop?
Ooh. So
It depends.
Power BI Desktop does support the narratives feature. So there's kind of two ways to do CoPilot right now in Power BI. In the web, you get that side pane. This is the 3. Okay, you're going to have to tell me the third that I forgot already. There's the side pane, chat-based experience. That's web only. In the desktop, there is, if you go into what was the Smart Narratives visual, if you click on that, you get an option. Oh, cool. Look at this little demo. There you go. Preview features, turn it on. Yep. Oh, and the Q&A. I forgot the Q&A. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Q&A team. I love Q&A.
Oh, that means there's 4 then, by the way. So
What's the fourth?
I'll tell you. Keep going.
Oh gosh, you're killing me. So
Go
then you go and, when you click on Smart Narratives, it says, do you want to use CoPilot or not? And you can go ahead and use CoPilot. If you don't see these experiences on the web yet, you got to go in the admin portal and turn it on. We are rolling it out to more and more tenants, and I think most tenants in North America now have access to it. And other regions are rolling out. And we're starting to be quite aggressive with how quickly we roll it out. But you do have to go as an admin and turn it on in the admin portal. So if you're not seeing that CoPilot, you have to go open a report first to see the CoPilot button.
Yeah, here we go. So then you'll see.
Yeah, there you go. Click
You'll
that.
see this
Yep.
experience right here.
And then you get the
Wait,
fun chat.
is this our guy in the cube? Is this our
It
guy in the
is.
cube tenant?
It is. Look at this.
Oh, we got CoPilot. We got
Get
CoPilot.
started. Yeah,
Mhm.
ask it for a summary maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Adam, where's the
suggest
4th?
content.
Can I get a summary? Let's see what happens.
See if that-
Let's see what happens.
There you go.
The data
Cat
set.
Rising.
There you go.
Hey.
Look at that.
Yep. So lots of cool stuff coming here. And listen, I've been in, weekly, sometimes more weekly reviews with the team on CoPilot. There's some really cool shit coming here. So if you don't see what you like yet, give us feedback and keep trying this out. And we'll keep blogging about it in the monthly Fabric and Power BI blogs because a lot of cool stuff's coming here.
So another thing too, as the just to show this as CoPilot for Power BI, this web experience that I'm showing right now, if you don't, assuming that it's available for your tenant, if you don't see this CoPilot button, That is because you have to come to the, don't save that. By default, it's turned off in the tenant settings. So you have to go to this tenant setting and actually enable it in order to use it. So be aware of that. So Kim, the other experience that was not talked about is the very first CoPilot that was available was DAX, was for DAX.
And that's been around for well over
Been around
a year.
for a bit. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I was like, there's another one.
Oh my gosh, guys.
So
Sorry.
this is also why, like when people ask me like, hey, like, where can I get CoPilot? And I'm like, which one? I'm like, there's a ton of them. So like, I got to be a little more specific, please. So yeah.
English query. That was the first CoPilot in 2000.
Yes. Yeah. Q&A.
Yeah. And more coming. Bogdan's team is putting CoPilot everywhere. So
I still,
I
need to look.
Warehouse want it. Well, everybody gets a CoPilot, right?
Everyone gets a
Everybody
CoPilot.
gets a CoPilot.
Dedicated integration and
So I did just verify Spanish language support for Q&A is still a private or is still a preview feature. So we're
although
show us the shape
OpenAI
map.
makes the multi-language thing much
A
more
lot
possible than it was before. So I don't know if you ever saw the DAX query view demo. If we did
Patrick
that
just did a video on it.
And it worked in German, so we tested it. It worked great.
I remember that. Yeah, Zoe was showing. She's like, "Oh, let's do it." All right,
Adam. What about is the shape map still in preview? Is
Oh,
the
yeah.
shape map
Oh,
still
yes.
in
It
preview?
is, and that actually I am aware. I did a review yesterday with the team. So we are moving all of our mapping capabilities. We have Bing and we have the shape map. We have all these different maps in the product. So Azure Maps is the newest map visual in Power BI Desktop, and it's GA now. And we're trying to consolidate a bunch of these disparate maps into one map, so you don't have to go hunting around the product to find it all.
One map to rule them all.
Map box. You've got lots of third-party teams building maps that are amazing as well. But definitely the shape map capabilities are going to roll into the Azure Maps visual.
Yes.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
Chris Wagner has a question for you, Kim. When will we see Fabric Desktop?
Oh, good question. And I mean, we'll see what do you guys want in a Fabric Desktop. That's really the question. I have dreams.
Everything.
I have ideas in my head. More and more Power BI Desktop capabilities will link into Fabric in various ways. We also have the what do we call it? The Fabric Explorer, the One Lake Explorer, which is essentially a desktop view of all of your data in one lake, just like OneDrive. So that's available today, but there's some crazy stuff we could do if you gave me some time. Another patience answer, I guess.
We're limited by our own imagination.
I know.
So, yeah.
And developers, number of developers.
Really, I'm just waiting on Bogdan to do something about Fabric Desktop. That's what I'm waiting for.
When they put a warehouse inside the desktop and
That's
ship it.
Yeah. Mobile
God.
warehouse. Mobile warehouse. Here we go.
Won't be confusing at all.
All right. Let's see here. There was one I was going to call out. Oh, Gaston has a question. Thanks for being here, Gaston. Always good to see you. He singled out Kim, but I'm going to throw Bogdan in here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Would love to have thoughts about the data world in the next 5 years. Great to hear about vision.
And this is why I like hanging out with Bogdan, because I think my answer is on one side of the end and Bogdan's will be on the other. For me, a big goal, especially coming in from the Power BI space and from the low-code business user world, is really about how do we make things more and more accessible? How do we empower more people to do things they couldn't do before, right? And you think about the BI space a decade or two ago, and you'd have to file a ticket to somebody in IT, and then a few months later, you get a report, and then if you didn't like the report, you had to file a bug. And now just anybody goes and downloads Power BI Desktop, answers their own questions. You can change your career with this product, right? And you don't have to be an expert in data to do so. And so the more we can empower people with more skills, with low code, with just easier to use functionality, I'm just excited about what we can do for people's careers and people's businesses. So that's my answer. Bogdan, what do you think?
Bogdan, what do you think?
Here's what you're saying. I really believe that most people really do not want to have to choose between Hadoop, Spark, data warehouse, or whatever. Data is data. They want to have it there, and they want to ask questions on top of this. So I think things are going to converge towards open formats. And you guys need to remember who started with this one copy thing, because at some point it's going to be table stakes. I think people are going to love the idea of shaping with whatever and then interrogating with natural language. The one thing that I found fascinating this year, 1 year ago, we were all playing with ChatGPT and asking it to talk like a pirate. And little did I know that was called prompt engineering at the time. And now you have all these copilots things that are getting people who don't know how to write DAX into writing DAX, which is a pain point for somebody on the chat. And it's a good pain point. But now imagine all the other 8 billion people who do not even know that they need a report, right? It's not about getting into DAX. So I think that there is a potential for this large language technology to make sure that all your data, wherever it works, is answering all your questions. That's what I think and I hope is going to happen.
You know, we had a holiday party for the Power BI team this week, and I said to somebody, nothing's going to change between now and after the new year, like chill out for the holidays. And then I was like, actually, last year at this time, ChatGPT came out and everything changed. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, oof, careful. Don't jinx yourself.
So, Gaston, it depends on who you ask. Kim.
Oh! Nice. All right. There we go.
There we go. It depends. It depends.
All right. Rajan, so how do I check the current capacity usage for paid Microsoft capacities when we click on the capacity under Azure resources, like the way we have for other Azure resources under matrix option?
So the best place to look at your capacities is the capacity metrics app. Is that the right answer?
I have a different answer, but go ahead.
Okay.
It depends.
It depends.
In Fabric, in Fabric, we have a tool called the Capacity Metrics app, and it shows you all the data about your capacities. And you can drill in, you can right-click, drill down, learn about what's going on. So that's, I think, the best place to go. But it is separate from the Azure portal, so then I think that's where I don't know.
That's where Adam's going to come in.
That's where Adam's
so I'm going to head over to my desktop and show you. We have a doc called "Understand Your Azure Bill" on a Fabric capacity, and it talks about all the invoice meters that are there, and you can go through and understand what this will represent and where you can compare your Azure bills. So specifically from a pricing on the Azure side, this is an option for you. If you have a mix of capacities for like Premium and Fabric, the Capacity Metrics app is absolutely a great way to understand the usage, and then go from there and see how see what items are actually leveraging that, and if you want to look at some chargeback type options, that's a good way to split things out. So yep, all right. Good question. Yeah, I had that one prepped already, Kim. While you guys were talking, I was like, oh, let me set this one up. All right. Let's see. Going back to the queue, checking. We got 7 minutes. So time flies. Time flies. All right. All right. So I saw Bogdan commenting on name pronunciation. I'm going to give this a try. Let me know if I'm off or not. So Jorg has a question. I would like to create an add-in to transfer data from Fabric to Excel. Will there be an API to read metadata in Fabric for read-only users?
You can do it today, I think. I mean, I'm thinking how I would build it. Your add-in would connect to ADLS Gen 2. It would explore the tables section. You will find the tables in the Delta log. You find the metadata. It's there. It's easy. But why would you do it? I mean, I'll give you one for free. Power BI. Power BI is showing you what you have in Fabric, and you can also query it. It's much more powerful.
Just use Power Query. Just use Power Query.
Patrick's
okay.
Patrick's
okay. It depends. Let's hear it.
Well, no, because we have different options for getting data out of Fabric, so it depends on how you want to connect to that data from Excel. Now, I will say, most people that create Power BI reports, you're doing that for one reason, right? To export to Excel. So I'm like, that's
No, don't export. Why can't I just
Don't
connect?
export. That's
Don't
what I'm saying.
export.
I know. I'm just saying that's what they.
That's what Bogdan's saying. Don't export. That's what Bogdan's saying.
That's why
Just
it
connect.
depends.
Just connect.
Yeah, if you have a few terabytes of data in the lake, it may just not fit well in your Excel. This is why the Power BI path allows you to work with anything.
Yeah, because the semantic model, just analyze in Excel and then use the data model, and that could be a direct lake model. Like, just go for it.
Man, Adam, how did we miss Sandeep? He had a really good question. Really good three-parter.
What? Oh, I got it. Hang on.
Okay.
All right, so Patrick's invoking that question.
Sorry.
All right,
guys.
this
is a good
is
question.
the only three-parter I've seen. This is coming from Patrick, by the way. So I want to set context when he says this is a good question. All right, Sandeep, three-parter. Here we go. One fact table surrounded by, say, 10 dimension tables. Obviously, dimension tables have no relationship with each other. Obviously, keys of all the dimension tables are in the fact table. That's the first one. Second part.
Part one.
In a report, we have a slicer on each dimension table. User wants selection of value in each slicer to filter the lists in all the other. Oh, yeah, we've done this question before. Would you recommend bidirectional relationships?
No.
Between all of the dimension tables and facts, or is there another way to achieve this functionality?
Yes.
There's
Go
another
watch
way.
my video.
Yes.
That I did on.
That's why it's a good question.
That explains it.
Hey Alex, can you drop a link to the cascading filters video if you don't mind?
Yeah.
That's it right there. Toma put the DAX in there. That's the DAX. I could see it. I could feel the DAX coming out. That's it. I call it the Alberto.
The Alberto. He did call it the Alberto. But the key is you can add measures to filters on this visual, and let that on the slicers, and let that drive the selections that are available on the slicer. Just to give it away, giving away the answer there. So thank you, Benny.
There you go. Benny dropped the link. Thanks, Benny.
All right, here we go. Els has a question. Hello, Els. I hope you are well. I want to move most of our data environment to the cloud. We are now mostly on premises. What is the best argument for Fabric to use our security with our security and CEO folks? How do we influence leadership to move to the cloud? That's a good question.
So I think this is always an interesting one in terms of maybe the answer is it depends. What are your goals? What are the challenges you have in your organization? What are the risks you're worried about? And like, listen, in the cloud, you can outsource a lot of the things that you're doing on-prem yourself, right? Cost savings, security and management savings, all that good stuff. So I think the big question is, what is your management worried about? What are the challenges you need to fix today? And then evaluate your options. And the answer might be some of it goes to the cloud, some of it stays on-prem, some of it, gets ETL to the cloud for certain scenarios, some of it doesn't. So this is really an it depends one. But what we see from a lot of organizations is that cost is a huge factor, and just management overhead is a huge factor that really moves people to the cloud.
Yep. Bogdan, thoughts?
Yeah, yes. It depends, like Kim said. Look at why other people are moving to the cloud. And the question is, do those reasons resonate for you? You may have a very specific reasons to keep your data on-prem. I do not know that. But cost savings, security, these are the typical reasons for moving to the cloud.
Yep. All right. So we have 1 minute left. I'm going to end with Benny's question, and we're going to go round the stream. I'd like an answer from all four of you. What's the thing, feature, idea that excites you the most about Fabric so far?
Is that about
Okay, I go
feature or about,
It's whatever you want it to be, Bogdan.
set the tone. Why don't you start?
Why don't I start? Okay. I will say that the thing that excites me, and I like how he put so far, so I can't say dark mode. So far, honestly, the thing that excites me the most is one copy of data. So this idea of breaking down data silos, this idea of leveraging, I know I probably took Patrick's answer, this idea of just leveraging, so like the finance team did all this hard work, and instead of just duplicating that data, I can just shortcut to it and take advantage of it, along with the security that they potentially put in place on top of that data, and so I can get what I need when I need it. Like, that's what excites me.
You know what excites me? It makes my job easier.
Does it?
It just makes, I don't have to, it does, initially, right? Initially, it's a challenge, right? Initially, it's a challenge, learning all the new things, learning all the knobs and whistles. But if you think about the stuff that I have put together, the data models with aggregations and incremental refresh, I don't need that stuff anymore. Wait. If you're using Fabric and you're writing to Delta Parquet files, you don't need to do all that stuff anymore. Stay tuned for these videos that I'm about to release on. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It makes my job so much easier.
I keep hearing about these videos.
And also, it depends, because each one of us, it depends on who you ask, so it depends.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim. Sorry.
All right, Kim.
You know, I love the. Can I say two things?
You can say whatever you want, Kim. It's
So first, whenever I talk to customers about Fabric, I always start with a slide showing a complicated architecture diagram, and they're like they're real architecture diagrams that customers have given us or that we have internally or whatever. And I show it, and everybody nods their heads and says, "Yes, this is annoying. Yes, it takes a lot of ETL and a lot of money and a lot of time." And then you go through this Fabric story and explain, like, it doesn't have to be that complicated, like what Patrick said. And it just, like, blows people's minds. And then, seeing the reality of some of the customers we're talking to and how really it isn't that complicated, that one's super cool. But my original answer, so Patrick got me on that thread, but the connection to the business users is critical, right? Because you can do all these data warehouses, you can build all these amazing Spark models, you can do
all the Bogdan things.
Do all the Bogdan shit. And if no one consumes it, if a tree falls in a forest, did it make a sound? Does anybody give a shit if nobody's consuming the data, right? And I hear so much from IT teams and data teams, oh, the business doesn't care about what I do, they're always yelling at me and, whatever. But the more we can empower those teams to get their data in the hands of the people who need it and make better decisions and do things with the data, we just connect these two audiences and just get so much value out of the data. And that's what I'm so excited about. Personally. Sorry about that. I didn't
Awesome.
mean to.
That was bananas.
No. The most exciting thing for me is that this Fabric Bogdan sheet gets visible to the business user, like Kim pointed out.
Listen, I don't discount how hard it is and how much blood, sweat, and tears that has gone into every performance second of the
I love how concise you put it, but I agree with you. I mean, really, I did data mining for 20 years, okay? The problem there is that you do something and nobody hears about it until 50 other people are putting it in a PowerPoint and showing it to your manager, right?
Yeah.
No, I really love this. I love the fact that the work that anybody is doing at any level of the stack actually is directly consumable and brings benefits. So I agree with you. Like, really, I love this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow, that was great. That was great. I love the passion. I love the passion.
Yeah. Chris.
And when I try to do that kind of stuff, I get beeped. So, hey, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. No beep.
All right. So Chris, so this is a great example of just how the chat went bananas. Chris said we need more leaders on the live stream.
Me too.
Because I'm allowed to curse, but Patrick's not.
No, I'm
I didn't
not.
curse.
I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm not.
I think you can say shit on
I'm not
TV,
allowed to
right?
say anything.
Do whatever you want, Kim. All right.
I'm not allowed to say these things, Kim.
All right, so we are over time. So just to wrap it up real quick, I normally ask Patrick, like, any closing words of wisdom. I'll throw that out there for anyone that wants to. Closing words of wisdom.
I'm super excited to see what you guys do with Fabric. So I'm really excited. Go ahead, Patrick.
I'm happy this thing exists compared to where it was 2 years ago. Like, I'm getting nostalgic, but distinctly I remember it was in a bleak December and we only had slides. Like, really, we had nothing real. and now it's there. Please play with it and tell us what you want us to add and how you are using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's time to disconnect. It's time to take off. Time to take off of work. We got a lot of stuff going. There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of code to be written. All those things. It's time to disconnect. Turn your laptops off. Go find some coffee, eggnog, beer, whatever the spirit of choice is. And also, I want to say before we leave, Adam and I have been doing this thing. I don't know how long we've been doing this thing here on the YouTube.
It's 8-9 years. Yeah.
Thank you to all you that join us every Saturday, that watch these videos where I'm just kind of chaotic sometimes, and Adam just kind of brings me in a little bit. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you, whether we tell you or not every day. We appreciate you, and guess what? I'll see you next year because I'm done. Patrick out.
All right. What Patrick said.
Happy
All right,
holidays.
everyone. Yes, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all the things. Happy New Year. We will see you in January, so enjoy the rest of the year. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Kim and Bogdan, for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye.
Meow, 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 meow,